Woo!
All right.
Cool. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Funhaus, joined by Bruce and John. How you guys doing?
Hey.
Hello.
This episode is brought to you by Blue Apron, where you can get 3 free meals for free using our special promo code. We'll hear more about that later. But first, let's talk about some movie stuff. What would you guys rather talk about first? The It film, which is called It, I guess Stephen King's It, that helps it in this whole search engine, or the Star Wars news?
Let's talk about It.
All right.
I haven't seen It yet, and I'm actually really curious because I love Stephen King. I've read a lot of Stephen King novels, but I've never read It, never seen the classic.
You didn't see the 1991?
No, I never did because...
How old were you when you watched that, John?
I think about 4.
Yeah. I
What?
I was like 6 or 7 years old.
See,
Yeah.
No, holy shit. No, I couldn't have been because I was born in 1985 and it came out in 1990 and I watched it on TV, so I was 5 years old.
Are we doing
wow.
Are we doing spoilers in this or no? It's
been
totally
a week.
Fine.
It's been a week.
I actually don't mind. I want this spoiled for me because I hate scary movies.
Oh, okay.
Especially movies like this that I know will scare the shit out of me. And like last night I was like, should I go see It by myself?
No, don't go by yourself.
And I was like, no, I'm not going to go see It by myself because I didn't want to go see it by myself, get scared shitless, and then go home and like sit in my bed. You know?
Yeah.
Because that's not at all what
And
I
you
wanna
have
do.
that huge clown collection in your room.
I
so-
do, but they're nice clowns.
Yeah.
So, real quick, as of September 10th, we recorded this one on the 12th. The movie, A Hard R, it's a very scary movie. It had a production budget of $35 million and has made $123 million domestically and $189 million worldwide. It's a success, which means it is getting a sequel.
It was the biggest. Was it one of the biggest hard R openings?
Yeah, I think
ever?
it.
I guess we gotta stop saying Hard R.
I think I saw that on the
true.
at the end of Friday. It was only like $1.5 million away from beating the record for best horror.
Oh, okay.
Like
Best
best
horror,
weekend.
that's what it was. Yeah.
Now, as always, I just want to indicate that just because a movie makes a lot of money doesn't necessarily mean it's good.
Of course.
This is one of the few cases where I believe the movie is good and it made a lot of money and it deserved the success that it got. So,
Yeah.
And I attribute a lot of that to the source material. Bruce, I'm with you. Stephen King writes some amazing stuff. Highly recommend you check out his large catalog, including It, The Stand, Dark Tower series. There's a lot of good stuff out there.
Yeah, I mean, and I read Under the Dome and like all honestly, Stephen King is, even though he's written 80 novels and everybody says he's a hack, he's a very prolific author.
Way more than 80.
Who's I know, right? Who's written a lot of books and television shows and movies, and so obviously there is some appeal in what he does. Regardless, can you explain to me the story of It?
Yes.
So that I am not as scared when I see the film.
All right.
Well, see, that's the trick, Bruce.
Uh-huh.
Is you can't be scared.
Okay.
That's the whole thing. Is that this thing? I mean, are we going full spoilers here?
We'll go full spoilers, but I think
you should.
Okay.
It's one of those movies. Actually, it's pretty interesting because there is a bit of lore to the universe of It. I guess all Stephen King stuff.
Yeah.
Actually, you've read Dark Tower, so it is.
I have.
It's included in that universe.
Right, yeah.
Spoilers for audio listeners, or anyone listening, actually. Yeah. So yeah, I think we're just gonna full on spoil it.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna try to leave some of the juicy parts for you without getting into full descriptors because I actually really think you should check this movie out.
No, I really want to. Like, I just don't want to go by myself.
So this thing, feeds off of fear.
Okay.
That's basically, it's like that. It's like that episode of X-Files where it was like the cops parody where they're going around and the thing that everyone saw was what scared them the most.
Yes.
That's how it is in this.
Well, that's like the Dementor in Harry Potter. It's
similar, yeah.
It's not the Dementor. It's
or,
there's another thing. It's the
yeah.
It's called like a boggle. I always forget the name of it, but it takes the form of the thing that you're scared of the most.
Yeah. So
I guess real quick, movie starts with Georgie. The younger brother of Bill runs off, and he is attacked by a clown in the sewer. Gets his arm ripped off, gets dragged in, and for a year he's gone missing. They haven't been able to find him, but then you find out in this town of Derry, something more sinister going on, that kids go missing every year, like countless kids. And then throughout the movie you start to discover there is a bit of a pattern to what's going on. And it has this kind of sinister overtone that like the parents are sort of ignoring any of the bad dealings going on in the town. And one really cool thing about it takes place in the 80s. It takes place, I believe, in the year 1988 and then 89.
Yeah.
When the original novel actually took place in, I believe, the 50s and 60s.
Oh, okay. So it's got kind of a Stranger Things vibe, it looks like.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they got Finn Wolfhard, which real cool name. Yeah, that's his name.
Jeez.
That's the kid from Stranger Things. He's in this too.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. He's stuck in the 80s.
Lean back a little bit. Relax.
So
You don't need to be close on the mic. It's fine.
We are introduced to our our gaggle of friends 1 year later after Georgie goes missing. And this character, Bill, is been on the hunt for a year trying to find his brother in any way, shape, or form. But he starts to notice that, like, other people go missing and people are already forgetting about his brother. So he's trying to get the help of his friends to find him. And he makes this connection that, where all the kids go missing is connected to the sewer system. But they're all being individually haunted. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, Big Boy discovers it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Big Boy. Yeah. Oh, my bad. A new kid moves into town. I forget his name. I don't want to call him Chunk. But
I mean, you can just call him Chunk. It's all right.
He's not Chunk. Forget his name. He actually ends up becoming a cooler character if you watch the original 1990 series. He's the fat kid who grows up to be John Ritter. Who doesn't want that? No one's raising their hand.
So what? All right. So I don't understand. Is it a ghost? No.
I can spoil it for you.
I mean, like, I want it spoiled real bad.
Okay.
So, all right. Well,
well,
hold on. So don't maybe not spoil it. I want to know if they kill it at the end. That's what I want to know.
I would say that they don't.
Definitive no.
It crawls away.
Well, they have a pretty good fight with it.
Yeah.
It being the monster.
They fuck it up.
So here's the fun thing.
That's what I want.
Here's the fun thing about it, and I think this is actually where the movie, we're reviewing a movie here, where the movie actually shines is it takes the form of whatever you fear most.
Right. But then,
so a lot of kids are scared of clowns, and he is this perpetual clown, but he also becomes a leper at one point, which is totally frightening. He's a headless child running around.
So you can fight it, though. It's a thing that you can fight.
You can, but the thing is it preys on children because children are more easily afraid.
Oh.
Yes. So it's sort of one of the things all the kids sort of discover, and that when they man up and they face it together, they realize that it has less power. And that's how
I want to see it.
Yeah.
You should see it.
No, I really want to see it.
So here's the thing. The movie is actually described as a horror film, and I would say it's more of like a dark fantasy.
Oh, okay,
It feels like I saw someone describe it that way. I think I was reading through like the Reddit post, and I very much agree. And Stephen King's pretty good at this, as we've seen with like Stephen King not Stephen King, The Dark Tower and Eyes of the Dragon. Is that the one?
I don't know.
Green Eye Dragon one. I haven't read it actually. It's a fantasy.
Blue
novel.
Eyes White Dragon.
But yeah, that's the one. Because the character Pennywise is actually kind of a fantasy creature. It has a very Lovecraftian feel when you sort of discover his origin. I can spoil the whole thing.
I mean, you don't have to. A lot of Stephen King is like that, though. Like Dreamcatcher's like that with Aliens. Mm-hmm. Spoiler. But
no one gives a shit about Dreamcatcher.
I know. But Dreamcatcher, I was one of the first things I saw Stephen King in terms of like an adapted movie, and I thought it was really cool because what Stephen King does is he takes this kind of a pretty cliche concept, like, oh, like these kids have powers. We've seen that 100 times.
Sure.
And they're like, well, wait a minute, why do they have powers? It's like, because of aliens. And then they have to fight the aliens at the end. That's what I've always liked about Stephen King is that he adds 3 or 4 different, they're not twists, they're just plot devices that you wouldn't expect would come up. And so that's why I should just trust that this movie's good. Because I would like to see what happens. But man, it looks so fucking scary.
Yeah.
It's frightening.
Yeah.
Normally I'm not like... I don't shit my pants at horror movies, but there were some sequences in this that were pretty trippy. Like, I don't know. Like, I was just entertained by it the entire time.
Sure.
I wasn't like screaming and jumping out of my seat, but there were some really, really cool sequences. That one where you see him in the fridge, when he climbs out of that fridge.
Yeah.
It's freaky.
I'm just seeing the trailer.
Yeah.
Freaking me out.
Well, so the kids who band together, the Losers Club, it's 7 kids. I'm going to get the number wrong, but either way, so it's a group of friends. The way that works and the way it's because it's being adapted from a book, it actually benefits from that, I feel like, because you follow each character and how they're being individually terrorized.
Okay.
And like, it's really cool because it's almost like every scene is, all right, what's this kid going to see?
Got it.
Shit.
Yeah.
What's it? And so it's just scary moment to scary moment to scary moment. And some of the moments don't even include being freaked out by a psychological fear. Sometimes it's just the bullies terrifying the children. And actually, one of the scariest moments has to deal with the character Beverly, who has a very rapey father.
Oh, shit.
And holy shit, is that probably not the scariest thing in this entire film.
Oh, man.
For those who haven't seen it, I'm sorry, but there's a rapey father.
Is there anything bad about this movie that you guys can say? Is it cheesy? Kind of cheesy a little bit? Are the special effects bad?
No.
I enjoyed it the whole time.
Yeah.
I like all the characters. The Jewish kid was the only actor who I like wasn't jazzed on. That guy,
but that's because of your bigotry.
Yeah. But like Eddie and Finn Wolfhard.
Nice. You just like saying that. You wish that you had his name.
The one kid Eddie, he like stood out as just my favorite part of the whole movie.
He's a little like hypochondriac.
Yeah.
That's him right there.
And just like every line he has is just delivered so well. Oh god, he's
so scary.
Like Stranger Things actually, which Stranger Things was very much influenced by things like Stephen King novels and other 80s. So it's sort of like it is just sort of a circle. That's it's all influencing each other. Not one stole from the other, and I believe this movie was in development for a very long time. I actually have some fun stories about that. But the two challenges, or the same challenge presented itself in both Stranger Things, and it was child actors suck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I've seen countless movies where the child actor is either looking at the camera or just oblivious to what's going on, and that's usually because they're a child,
right?
And they don't know how to act. Yeah. They somehow got a pretty damn good cast. I would say some of the child actors are okay, but like I give them a 7.5, which is
that's not
still
bad.
Better than 100% of the films out there.
Yeah, that's not bad at all.
So bravo to the directors and producers and the casting director who picked the kids, because they're actually, like you said, Eddie is a standout. The character Mike Wolfhard, what's his name? Finn
Wolfhard.
Sweet name.
Who directed it?
So I forget the director's name, but he's the guy who directed Mama, which is the film I never saw, which actually I want to go back and check out now.
I think I ended up. I was thinking about it more after lunch when we talked about it. I think I ended up seeing that movie, and it was really scary and creepy. I just didn't. Again, I don't go for horror films typically, because usually they have like a really sad ending. So it's like it's really scary the whole time, and then they die at the end. And I'm always like, well, I don't know if I really want to see that. But Stephen King typically will have some sort of revenge tale.
It's like a fantasy. It's a bunch of kids getting together and they fight the monster.
Yeah.
And they band together, and they do change something from the show and the novel. That I saw it. Red Letter Media had an issue with it, and the more I thought about it, I didn't really have too much of an issue. But the female character Beverly gets kidnapped by Pennywise, and she's used as sort of a plot device to move the story forward. So all the kids have to go fight the monster.
Oh, that's not originally from the, because when that happened, I was like, that seems a little cliche. But I was like, oh, it's from a book from the 80s or whatever.
Yeah, I don't think it was originally that. They just all they decide, like an adventure group, that we need to go kill the monster.
Yeah, of course.
And they changed it a little bit, but yeah, it's I mean, that's the weakest part.
Well, that's what Stephen King likes to do that with Under the Dome. I read the whole book. It's a really big book, and it's got some really good twists and plot devices in it. And I watched the show, and it was entirely different, and it wasn't very good.
Stephen King usually is known for his kind of meh endings.
Yes, yeah.
And this one had a more. It felt stronger all the way through. Yeah,
that's good.
I felt good afterwards. I actually had a few little nightmares.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Not of the movie, but like my brain was in scared mode.
Yeah.
Because of that, and that's good. Very few movies have actually done that to me, so I give it props for that. And the one thing we're actually not really talking about, and they don't show much of it in the trailer, I'm really glad they didn't, was the actor Bill Skarsgård, who plays Pennywise the Clown, did a fantastic job.
Yeah,
he had, I'll show you what he had to live up to.
It was frightening. Did it need a reboot, you think?
Yes.
Yeah, the 90s one, pretty much what I've heard from everybody who like rewatched it preparing for this film, it does not stand up.
Okay.
Oh no, it's garbage. In the nicest way possible.
Yeah. I mean, Tim Curry's great, but
oh yeah, Tim Curry's
he was the best part, and he is this very here, I'll play a clip here. But he's very like, this is frightening.
He's frightening in like a funny way.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, bucko.
Yeah, he's frightening in a funny way, but not in a scary way.
Yeah. And like the music was a little haunting. It feels like a well-produced episode of Alone in the Dark.
Very wise.
Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Oh yeah.
Go on.
I mean, it was super low budget, and the source material's very dark.
Yeah. It's kind of not like. Stand. The Stand is the same way. Stand's a great story, but it's really cheesy if you've seen that miniseries. Mm-hmm. Man, is it cheesy and not good in terms of special effects.
Yeah, The Stand hasn't held up well.
No, but the story itself is great.
I'll play some classic while we're here.
Oh,
but yeah,
gosh, I hate it.
No, there was definitely. I remember growing up watching this, and it is probably a nostalgia thing of, oh man, this stuff freaks me out. And it's scary, and it shouldn't.
See, I never saw this when I was a kid because it scared me too much.
Yeah.
So if it was ever on TV, I would just not watch it.
Just run out of the room.
Yeah, exactly. When I was young,
Well, so there's one big controversial moment in the book, and they obviously didn't do it in the series, and people thought they were going to do it in the movie. But so there's a scene after they defeat it in the novel. There's a part where they get lost in the sewer, and the kids are trying to find their way out. And the character Beverly realizes we need to basically become adults. And so all the kids run a train on her. They basically each individually have sex with her.
I heard about this.
And then that causes them to become adults, and then they can find their way out. And that was Stephen King's way of writing about like the loss of innocence.
I see. Yeah.
And he's kind of come out and defended it in certain ways, yada yada. And people are like, I can't believe they didn't put that in the movie. It's like, I'm okay with it not being there.
Yeah,
and
that's weird.
Stephen King even had a good point where he's like, no one seems to have an issue with the child murders, but they get a little weird when kids are having sex in a dirty sewer.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, I'm more concerned about, don't get diseases down there, kids. Like, you don't want to get.
You gotta take it easy. Use protection.
You don't want to get poo poo
when you're in the sewer.
JJ. Be careful, and multiple partners. Careful, girls. So that's a thing that didn't happen. But the production of it actually, I want to say started in 2014 or longer. Mm-hmm. They've been trying to make this movie for a while.
I didn't know that.
And the script has gone through multiple changes, which is pretty cool. And you can actually find them online.
Oh.
There was a different director and writer associated with it, and they ended up using a lot of their stuff. But they had a lot more of like Pennywise. There's a really cool scene where they have Pennywise in colonial times. This used to be scary to me.
Shit.
That was kind of scary.
That was pretty freaky.
I didn't like that at all.
I was waiting for that moment, actually, when he's getting dragged into the little tunnel thing. It didn't happen.
Ugh.
Not in the movie. Yeah. But yeah, I highly recommend checking out some of the other stuff. But there's like a cool moment where it's like a naked Pennywise in like the 1500s, and he's like taking a child in exchange for like letting a woman live, like an older woman, and that's sort of like to indicate that this creature has been part of this town for a very long time, and the town exists because he's there.
Okay,
kind of cool.
There's
some really cool stuff.
That was another thing that I kind of liked about the movie is that the whole town kind of seemed to be under the spell of Pennywise.
Yeah.
Like none of the adults realized what was happening, and a lot of them like, I mean, you see in the trailer where the car drives by and the balloon appears in the background. Like they're basically all the adults are just kind of in this daze, and don't notice all this bad shit happening.
They're complicit.
Yeah.
The idea too being that when you're a child, things are a lot more scary.
Of course, well, they are. That's absolutely true.
You know who actually did a really good job of that is there's an MGMT video. I want to say it's the music video for kids, where it's the woman walking around with the baby, and there's just monsters everywhere. Yeah. And that to me, I was like, oh, that's actually pretty good. That's sort of what Stephen King is doing, where it's like when you're young and you're looking up at everything, things seem a lot scarier.
Of course.
And you always remember them.
Smaller.
Yeah. Like us watching the original 1990s I remember it being a lot scarier.
Yeah.
Because that's all we had. But now I thought they did a pretty faithful update. And it definitely ends in a way where they go,
There's gonna be a sequel.
well, they basically just say chapter 1 at the end, which I thought was cool.
Okay.
Because I think they got a lot of early like buzz, and they're like, yeah, I think this might do well.
Did he write a sequel?
So that's the thing is the original It novel is like 1,400 pages long.
Oh yeah.
So
he loves doing that. He loves writing really long books.
He basically wrote 2 books in one. So it's the kids. They think or they assume they defeat Pennywise, but they say if he ever comes back, because they pretty much figure out that this happens every 27 to 30 years. They say we will band together.
Cool.
And we'll do it. The thing is, what they don't really tell you, and it's more in the novel, that when you leave the town, you forget about it. You forget it, and
all right.
And so when he comes back, when he comes back, their memories start to come back of it, and one of the characters, even you saw in this movie, but one of the characters kills himself because he's too afraid to go back. He can't handle the fear that is Pennywise. I love this part. Stephen King loves doing the holding the wrong woman.
Ugh.
He goes, "Kiss me, fat boy."
You can see him mouth it.
Yeah.
That was great.
Tim Curry did a great job.
I guess for what he had to do.
What he had, for the low budget, for what it was frightening. And there was just a lot. There's a lot more in the book that's just like, what the fuck? I think someone gets their eyes sucked out by leeches.
Cool. He loves Stephen King's. He also loves leeches.
Yeah,
it was in the what's it called? Stand by Me.
I'm almost positive. The book opens up with a homosexual man getting beat up and thrown over the bridge, and Pennywise is like waving at him.
Holy shit!
They're like, dear God, like that's how the whole thing begins in the original novel, not in the movie, obviously. But
I'm gonna read the book.
Man,
to kind of go back a little bit, although they didn't put in a child orgy, they did. I was surprised by kind of just how much they were willing to do with kids, not sexually, but like Georgie gets his arm ripped off, and like you see full on like him crawling like down the road, just missing an arm and like blood squirting out, and then at the end,
awesome.
Bill has like this cow killing gun like with the nail.
Oh yeah.
And he does it to Georgie, and like because it's actually he knows it's Pennywise, but it's you know on screen it's him cow puncturing this kid in the head.
A child gets his arm ripped off and then he gets shot in the head.
Yeah, it was like
holy shit.
Whoa, like I with all the kind of how safe people are try to be sometimes in current media, like it was like holy shit, that was really surprising.
You saw a little bit in the 1990s version where he grabs his arm and you see his teeth, and then they describe it later. An adult says, yeah, I heard or I think they're like, yeah, it's like a wing, or the wings got ripped off a fly. And so you as a 5-year-old was like, oh my God, frightening. In the movie, bites his arm, rips it off, and the kid's crawling, and then this giant clown hand comes out from the sewer, grabs him, and pulls him in.
Holy shit, that's awesome.
And I was just like, I remember sitting there going like, holy shit, that's worse than what I imagined when I was a kid. I always thought he just like ripped his arms off and pulled him in. It's like they went fucking crazy with it.
Yeah.
So what I guess to kind of close out here, we can still talk about it. I got to do the ad read here in a sec, but they hit so many notes of the horror, what I appreciate is the psychological stuff. And there are a few jump scares here and there, but there's just stuff where like you're just kind of scared to look at the screen, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
The last movie, and I always cite this, but I feel like the last movie to really do that to me was The Ring.
Yeah, the Ring is frightening.
When the girl's coming out of the TV,
it is frightening.
Whenever you feel yourself backing up into something, that's good. Insidious, Sinister, all these other movies, it's just and I go, oh, and I think that's safe for people.
Yeah.
This sort of stuff, I feel like, is fucked up.
Yeah, you don't want to know what like basically you're watching and you're like, please don't show me what happens next. I don't want to see what happens.
But then they take it further where they have the high school kids bullying you, and they start accosting you with a knife.
Yeah.
That stuff scares the shit out of me.
That's also really scary.
Yeah, brings back
real life.
It's really scary. Yeah. But I could talk to you a little bit more about the origins of Pennywise and where they go with him. And there's some really fun stuff anyway. But I do want to remind you guys that this episode of Filmhouse is brought to you by Blue Apron. Blue Apron is the #1 fresh ingredient and recipe delivery service in the country. That's this country, America. Blue Apron's mission is to make incredible home cooking accessible to everyone. Have you done it yet, John?
I have not.
We should do it sometime, you and I.
Yeah, Adam says he wants to cook with you. He's been saying it every day.
How about this? I'll get it. We'll take the meal over to Bruce's place.
Yeah, you have to cook it over there
me. I'll teach you how to cook.
I cooked meals at Bruce's place before.
That's right. So. Yeah, I'll sit at the dinner table with fork and knife in my hand.
I like that. You just sit there waiting
bang
for us.
on it.
The good thing too is that you can actually cook the meals pretty quick. They have like they say most meals take under 40 minutes. That's very true. Especially you have a little helper. I'm John, my sous chef. And I want to talk about some of the upcoming meals that you guys can check out. We got the summer vegetable and egg paninis with Calabrian, chili, mayonnaise, and caprese salad. What else we got there, Bruce?
Soy glazed pork and rice cakes with bok choy and marinated green beans.
And John, what else?
Some skillet vegetable chili.
You love chili.
With corn. Oh, I do love chili. But I also love it with cornmeal and cheddar drop biscuits.
And finally, the garlic butter shrimp and corn with green bean salad and roasted purple tomatoes. Sometimes I don't even know what it is, and I just close my eyes and I trust Blue Apron because it's always good. Never had a bad meal. That's my guarantee to you.
Wow.
That's my word. I've never eaten anything that we've cooked and went, that wasn't good. Yeah. It's always amazing. So those who spend a lot at restaurants or at high-end grocery chains can now spend under $10 per person for a delicious meal. Always good for dates. gentlemen or ladies.
Hey,
looking to do something
if you can find me one.
That's our next step. So each meal comes with step-by-step, easy-to-follow recipe cards and pre-portioned ingredients, and can be prepared in 40 minutes or less. So please check out this week's menu and get your first 3 meals for free shipping by going to blueapron.com/filmhouse. That's FILMHAUS. You will love how good it feels and tastes to create incredible home-cooked meals with Blue Apron. So please do not wait. That is blueapron.com/filmhouse. Blue Apron, a better way to cook.
There you go.
There we go.
I did want to mention, you brought up The Ring, and I got to say, they had one of the best marketing campaigns, which was that they just started out by not showing titles for the movie at all in the TV spots, just showing all the freaky footage for about a minute at 3 a.m. on Cartoon Network. And that went on for weeks. And I stayed up every night because I was like, every night during this same commercial break, this crazy shit plays. And then finally it was like The Ring. And I was very relieved because I thought I was going insane.
That's exactly what
or
they
being
wanted.
haunted.
I think the story I heard too, if IMDb trivia has taught me anything, that everything on there is true. But they would, this is in the age of VHS is still being a thing. They would, they had that short, creepy video on a VHS, and they just sort of sent it out to the world. And people would check and they go, what the hell was that? And that was like very early viral marketing.
That's what they do with Paranormal Activity too. It was like passed around on a DVD. That's how I got it originally.
Really?
Yep. And they're like, you gotta watch this, and I watched it. It fucking freaked me out.
Yeah.
But I didn't see it in theaters. That was another way to do it.
I guess we're kind of on the subject of horror right now. I thought Paranormal Activity 1 was okay. It had some genuine scary moments. I thought the like seeing the hooves. Footprints is always kind of scary. I always, in horror, I always like what you don't see. It is the opposite of that, but it does it very well. But then Paranormal Activity 3 actually wasn't half bad.
Apparently 3 was very good. Yeah.
I actually liked it. It takes place in the 80s.
I never saw 3.
I have a soft spot for the 80s. There's one part in particular I really like. It's about a guy, it's a father who's like a stay-at-home editor. And so he jerry-rigs a camera on top of an oscillating fan to create a security camera.
Oh, nice.
And there's a cool part where it's a good editing technique with a found footage thing where it's doing this and like the ghost is getting closer and closer.
Because every time it
like Ninja Cat?
Kind of. But it's like, so there's a person standing here and then there's like literally like a ghost with a sheet on it. I don't know why it's doing that. But every time it gets close, it's just moving closer and closer and closer. And the woman like feels something, she turns around and it just falls. They're like, come on.
Shit.
Oh, man.
But they're like, I think there's a part in the beginning too where they're filming themselves like they're trying to make like a sex tape and then an earthquake hits. But then the guy's rewatching the footage and he sees that when some of the dust falls, it makes like an outline of a human.
Cool.
I'm like, that's cool stuff.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. And then it gets to some really culty kind of weird stuff at the end, which I was like, yeah, I enjoy that stuff. But that's go ahead.
I saw the second one in theaters with a date, and I pretended to be much scareder.
So you could hold her hand?
I was, yeah.
Did you hold her hand?
Oh, yeah.
You're like,
Nice
put your
job.
hand in this popcorn.
Nice job.
There's a snake in there. Oh, no.
Did you get a kiss afterwards?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Got a lot more than a kiss.
Ew, stop it. Gentlemen don't kiss and tell, John. Jeez.
I didn't tell.
Well, we're actually pretty close to the end here. We can keep talking a little bit about it, but I feel like we've said everything that needs to be said.
Yeah, we do.
My goal is to get Bruce to see it.
I really want to see it. Like I said, I really want to see it. Last night I was like, should I go see it? No, because I'm scared. Because I'm a bitch.
I might go see it again. I had almost one of my worst theater experiences.
You have terrible theater experiences every time.
I'm cursed.
What happened?
So we went, I want to say we went opening weekend, and the man sitting next to me, no joke, had a flashlight.
Oh, my God.
Wait, why did he have a flashlight?
He was an old man. And he's sitting there, and he was very jumpy, he was very animated.
Oh, no.
He didn't have a problem. He was just very like.
This always happens to Adam.
Oh, and there was like a movie trailer. A movie trailer happened. He was like, "Hoo!" I was like,
Was he a clown?
I felt like it. But he had his like this little flashlight, and at some point I went, "Hey, do you mind turning that?" He goes, "Oh yeah, no problem." I was like, "So you fucking knew it was on?"
What was he doing with
I don't know.
Was he just maybe he had a disability or something?
I think it was just hard for him to see stuff.
Was he in the disabled seats?
Was he?
No.
Oh.
Was he aiming it at the screen?
Yeah, he's like, "Away, Pennywise, away." He was very immersed. I felt bad because I mean, he was actually having a good time during it, and I was like, "Is this guy okay with these children cursing like this?" Because there's a lot of f-bombs.
Oh yeah.
Left and right, which I actually really enjoyed the adult language in the film. I thought it was handled tastefully. I mean, it's just kids talking like kids, which is great.
That same thing happened to me. Not an old man with a flashlight, but like I'd say about 10, 15 minutes into the movie, blaring light from my side, and I look over and just some like girl with a purse turns on her phone flashlight to then walk through the aisle to get to her seat.
Interesting.
So yeah,
it's so rude.
Man.
I just don't understand. And by the way, I never have these experiences. Whenever I go to the theater, sometimes I'll have some loud kids or whatever next to me. I usually just kind of look it over them, and usually they'll calm down, and I enjoy the film.
Yeah.
And then every time Adam goes, he's got the worst people next to him.
I am forever cursed.
You really are.
Yeah.
I feel bad for you, buddy.
Well,
I feel bad for me.
For horrors, I really like seeing it with like a big audience. And
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and people who are really engaged with it. So that's why I went this weekend, because I was like, I need to go opening weekend so that everyone is in the theater and is going to be stoked. But we went to the friggin' ArcLight Culver City, and everyone just sat there, like legs crossed.
Really?
Watching the movie, no one like screaming
Nobody
out
got
or
scared
anything.
No?
Yeah, and then my friend went and saw it at the Cinemark and said people were like running up and down the aisles and like
Flipping their shit?
Yeah, everyone was screaming and
man, that sucks.
yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
I
so
know.
you've seen it twice?
No, my
that's a
friend went and
friend.
saw
Oh,
it at
sorry,
Cinemark
sorry.
and like had a great
I was half
experience.
listening because I was remembering there was one point during the movie where someone said something and there was someone in the audience audibly went, "The fuck does that mean?" It's like, really? We can't have this level of etiquette where we don't talk at the movie. It's not going to talk back to you. Can't hear you. It's a film.
I ended up seeing The Conjuring a while back in theaters because I think it was because like a date wanted to see it. I was like, all right, yeah, let's go. And so we went, and I remember there was a guy next to me who every single time something bad, he was like, "No, don't do that!" Like, yeah, every time. No, fuck! Like, it was great. I loved it actually because it really enhanced the movie for me because it wasn't that scary. I'm like, "Oh shit, don't where are you going?" And I was like, "All right, I like that."
I like being able to
see
see people get in their seats and sort of like just look uncomfortable.
Squirm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I love
absolutely.
the squirmers. And yeah, this I would say this projector scene is what did it for me. I felt like they showed the whole thing in the trailer, but it goes on and on.
Yeah,
more
yeah,
frightening.
it does.
There's-
Very much so.
I saw. You know what? I just realized. I think maybe the reason I don't want to see horror movies is because I saw Blair Witch Project opening weekend.
Yeah.
I think it was '99 is when it came out, and I'd only heard that the movie was found footage.
Yeah.
I had not heard anything else because really the internet kind of wasn't like it's the hype machine that it is today.
Yep.
And when I when I was talking with my dad about it, my dad was like, "Have you heard about this thing?" And I was like, "Yeah, I've heard about it." He's like, "I don't know if it's real or fake," because he didn't know. And so like I was like, it's got to be fake, right? It's got to be a movie. So when you go see the movie in theaters, it starts off with this footage was found, blah blah blah. Here are the tapes. And so then you watch it with, like you said, 300 other people who are flipping their shit.
Yep.
The first day it came out, and at the end when the kid's got his back turned and he's standing in the corner and then he gets hit in the head, I was like, I'm never ever going to another horror movie ever again.
Well,
I'm
then
so fucking
it's
scared.
just like a thump and then it ends.
Oh gosh! And it was just like, no, there's no resolution. Oh man, it scares the fuck out of me.
That was a part. Yeah, I remember there's a part in that movie where they're running and they're, "What the fuck is that? What the fuck?" And the camera turns real quick, and in your brain you go,
You think you see something?
"What I see?" And you realize that they made an entire movie for like under $20,000.
There was nobody there. Like it's like the crew. Well, then, I guess apparently the way that Blair Witch was shot was, the crew was like, go in, get your cameras, set up a tent. That's it.
Yeah.
We're gonna do shit to you at night.
Yep.
So get ready.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And they didn't tell them what they were gonna do. They were just like, have your cameras ready because we're gonna come at any point in tonight. We're gonna fuck with you.
I remember when the whole tent shook. They were inside and it just.
Yeah, well, they said they had a bunch of crew members hitting the side of the tent.
Yeah.
And they didn't know what was happening.
Yeah.
They had no
Well,
idea.
I remember there were people in my high school who were like, "You know that movie's real, right?"
Yeah, yeah,
And I was
absolutely.
like,
Absolutely.
I don't think they would air a snuff film like that.
Yeah, I know, right?
Especially since I saw the girl in an interview with Conan the other night. I think they're okay. And then she was like, "Wait, really?" And I shattered her world. I'm like, "I'm so sorry."
I saw it under the perfect circumstances. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
remember
really-
seeing it too. And I
got
like
really
for a
lucky.
hot moment, I thought, "Oh, that's pretty real."
Yeah.
It does a pretty interesting thing too, of sort of grounding it in reality, which is something I like. I like this idea of Pennywise being this ever-present creature. He's later described as sort of like an elder god. It's very like Lovecraftian, and like he is as old as existence and he's just always been here, and it's like he just feeds on your fear. I'm like, I love that sort of stuff.
It's like Death Note.
Yeah. Well, they allude to it a little bit towards the end where they're looking into his eyes and or his mouth is like his like essence or whatever, and you see these like they call it the deadlights, and you see it, and it's like there's like a dimension that he exists in. I'm like, that stuff, I love that stuff.
Yeah. Okay, so there was a reason for that, like because not knowing the lore, like he just opens up his throat and you see these lights, and it's like, what the fuck is that?
The novelization describes it as something that basically, once you look into it, you go crazy.
Oh, okay.
Like it's very Lovecraftian. That was the thing they used in the Mountains of Madness. Or like he then looked out the window and he saw something so scary. He couldn't talk about it.
Yeah.
He couldn't even describe it. It's like, good one, HP.
Yeah, because you have to worry about writing it.
But I actually really like that stuff. I like the psychological stuff that like ruins you. And it's like this, like, I think it's a good mix of everything. I think there's actually some funny, kind of really funny parts in it too. So I don't know. What do you think, Bruce? You want to go try to see it?
I absolutely
You want to try to see it this week?
I would like to see it maybe Thursday.
Okay.
Man, it's fucking
I laughed out loud so many times.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
It's because he's being tickled.
Yeah.
By your date?
By myself.
By his date, yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, I mean, the Star Wars news is that J.J. Abrams is doing Episode 9.
Yeah.
And that the movie got pushed back a few months.
To December 2019, I believe.
Yep, December. Yeah. It was going to be coming out in May 2019. Now it's December. So
that's fine with that.
Change your plans.
No, I'm totally fine. I think that as long as I was one of the only people I knew, even though Force Awakens I knew was a good film, I wasn't crazy about it, and because it was a remake. It was a remake of A New Hope, and he did a great job with it. It was really good, but it was one of those things. So like, regardless, J.J. Abrams will make a good movie. He always does. Yep. He makes good movies.
Yep.
So I'm excited for it, but at the same time, I hope it's not a remake of Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
So.
Are you excited for 8 with
absolutely.
Rian Johnson?
I'm a big Rian Johnson fan.
I'm telling you, there's going to be the biggest wizard fight we've ever seen. It's going to be the biggest. So,
all right.
So I'm right now the title holder of wizard fight is Voldemort versus Dumbledore, which is an amazing wizard fight. This is going to be the best wizard fight we've ever seen in any film.
Yeah.
Snoke versus Luke.
Luke versus Snoke.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
I'm
what's
curious. I'm still holding out that Rey becomes the bad guy.
I know. Yeah.
I want Kylo Ren to be the good guy.
Adam wants them to change places, which who knows?
I just think a female Sith's a cool idea.
It is a cool idea.
I've seen it in the Knights of the Old Republic stuff,
but we haven't seen it in movies.
Never in a film.
I always played as a female Sith in Sports War.
In what?
Star Wars: The Old Republic.
You also played with your clothes off and wore your little sailor hat. But I mean, God, yeah, I guess we could do a whole podcast on that. I guess a little bit of news. I don't know when this is going into effect, but Funhaus will become a weekly show soon.
Oh yeah.
We have been told that I guess all the sponsors are happy. They want more.
Right. They want more, John.
They want us some more. So we actually might be doing more movie news stuff and still reviewing the bad movies. I know John actually had a really good idea. Trying to get this show to be a bit more produced. You want us to start reviewing some Air Bud films, right?
Air Buddies franchise, yeah.
Are there like 9 movies?
There are 14, I believe.
And was it Primate?
Yeah, well, there's Air Bud 1 through like 6 or something, and then there's the Air Buddies series, which there's like 7 of those, and then there's MVP, Most Valuable Primate, MXP, Most Extreme Primate, and then Spymate, where he becomes a spy after winning the X Games.
But I know you guys enjoy us when we talk about bad films, so that's not going anywhere. I felt like it was a good film and it deserved a little bit of praise, and I was hoping to convince my buddy Bruce to go see it.
Yeah, I'd like to go see it, I think. And
so.
Let's go right now.
I'm more convinced.
Let's do it.
I have to work, but yes.
Oh, shit, dang it. Darn, John. You got a job. Anyway, thank you everyone for watching and or listening. Please tell your friends if you enjoy this show. If you have any suggestions, always let us know. Please leave in the comments, tweet us, whatever you got to do. And thank you, Blue Apron, for sponsoring us. Thank you guys for joining.
Of course.
Always fun to talk movies.
Yeah.
All right. We'll see you guys next time. Bye, yo.
Motivated. Sometimes they just kind of like Suicide Squad, just pick a song and then just play it.
It felt like Watchmen. To me sometimes.
It's not
Watchmen,
too original.
yeah.
It's like Celine Dion covers.
No, right.
Yeah.
Mariah Carey cut, but it's like.
And I'm like, why did you pick this song? It just came up on your Google Play Music, and
right.
you were like,
it's a popular song. Yeah, it's a popular song. And they're like, oh, it'll be perfect.